Hey, I thank you so much for that warm introduction. What I want to do is kind of let you all know that I was asking the principal, like, what neighborhood you from. Say y'all from all neighborhoods, right? Huh? Great. And when I was growing up, my mom and dad lived house to house, so I think I'm from every neighborhood y'all from as well. But when I was growing up, I grew up in South Memphis, over by Trigg in Florida. And I remember the times when I was growing up, my grandmother, she birthed 15 kids, right? Yeah, she birthed 15 kids. My mom and dad, they was in and out on drugs. My mom now is not on drugs anymore, which is good. And my father just passed, rest in peace. But growing up, we lived house to house, and I remember that we was in a 600 square feet house, which is very, very small, with my grandmother and 15 kids. And my bed was like a coffee table. That's why I slept. I remember growing up, and the rats got my food before I got it. We stayed in the house where for the kids that don't know, you got houses built two types of ways. You got a house that's built on concrete. You got some houses built off the ground, right? Off the ground, it's like a wood floor. And because of all the walking in the houses and all that, and I remember we walked so much in the house and had so many people in the house that we put holes in the floor. And that's how the rats got up through the floor and came up. We had to put the food in the in the oven, because if we leave it on the stove, we know right then it's going to be tampered with some unwanted guests, which is the rats. But I remember going to school. I went to Lincoln Junior High, went to Kansas Elementary, and I went to Southside. And at Southside High, I was tired of wearing the same clothes over and over again. You know, kids used to check me. I felt uncomfortable. You know, I just didn't feel, anybody felt like that before, like uncomfortable because you don't feel up to par in school? Y'all felt like that before? All right, great. And it's hard. It's hard going through that. Do y'all have anybody here that's 16? All y'all 16, stand up, please. And let me show you something. All the ones that's 16, at the age of 16, that's when I told the principal I had the pink eye. At the age of 16 is when I dropped out of school. Y'all can sit down. So I left school and I told the principal I had the pink eye. I did not know that I knew I wasn't going back to school. I knew that for a fact. But I didn't know what life had to offer, right? So I went through the poverty in a deeper level. We got into the streets and started playing with drugs a little bit. Okay? We did that. And I played around with it a little bit, and a friend of mine, we became best friends. And his mom had 3 bedrooms. It was only him and his mom. So we like brothers, like Batman and Robin. Every time they see him, they see me. But one day, we was riding down Alcee Road. You all know what Alcee Road is? We ride down Alcee Road, right by Airways. And we went over to this girl's house. This girl had a broken down gun. So he put the gun together. And we on marijuana, we playing around with the gun. And with that, I ran into the bathroom. And after I got into the bathroom, I thought he was gone. After how we play around, best friends, we knew nothing was gonna happen. But after I opened the door, he was right there by the door. And he tapped the side of the trigger. The gun went off. The bullet went in my mouth, went through my tongue, and the bullet lodged right here in my neck, and it's still here right now as of this day. So he took me to the fire department, which is on Bellevue. In the fire department, they took me to the hospital and they cut my clothes off of me, and I thought I was going to die. And I remember even driving up to the fire department, and I was spitting out this blood, and I even spit out a small portion of my tongue because of that gunshot. And I remember being on a hospital bed, and I was telling God, it's not my fault that my grandmother got 15 kids. It's not my fault that my mom and dad is on drugs. I just want to be the best that I possibly can be. And God told me, he said, if I can save you from a gunshot, that's proof that I can save you from anything else. And I felt like a relief of pain. So when I got out of the hospital, I didn't change like immediately. I didn't, but I prayed every day. And I remember having this job, and I was making $18 an hour. I said, God, how could this guy, because back then we only went to the mall on the Saturdays. Some of your older folks know about that, right? We go to the mall on the Saturdays when your mom get the check. I said, how could this guy go to the mall on a Wednesday? And I can't. How? How could this guy go jet ski riding? And I never did that. How could he do all that? And God told me, if I can save you from this gunshot, that's proof that I can save you from anything else. So I quit that job with $100 and started a food delivery thing. It went from that. It went from owning a mortgage company. It went from even owning a roofing company now. And when I was growing up, it was so hard for me because when I dropped out of school, I wanted to go to college. And a friend of mine got me into college, and I got into college without a GED. And I'm telling y'all the truth. And I was there like a semester or so, and the dean came to me and said, hey son, I don't see any ACT scores. I don't see a high school diploma or a GED. How did you get in here? But he said, because of your boldness, you can stay. So kids, I'm telling you, you'll be going through things in school. You go through things in life. If you just keep your head up, the things you want to do, you can do it. Don't let nothing hold you back from that. Do not use the excuse that my mom and dad is not in my life. Do not use the excuse that nobody in my life did it before me and my family did it before me. Don't use the excuse that my grades are not what it's supposed to be right now. Do not use those things as an excuse. And I promise you, man, if God can bring me out of all these situations, and I know that y'all got situations, you got these drugs out here, you got these pills and all that kind of crap. Do the opposite. If you don't have anybody in your life that gives you positivity, do the opposite. That's what I did. Once I understood, when my friends was outside, I came in. When they came in, I went outside. Do the opposite. If the Bible said that you're the head, not the tail, you're above, not beneath, you can do it. And it's not going to be easy, I promise you, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. But if you just hold tight, you can be that next millionaire. And from me to be where I'm at right now, I did not know that I would get here. I had dreams. I saw it on TV. I did not know it, but I had the faith. I had the faith. And I promise you, whatever you're going through, it's not nothing too hard for God. Like for my mom to be not on drugs anymore, and I can see her, that's a blessing. And sometimes we blame our parents, right? But in some cases, they can drop out of school because they got to take care of you. You understand what I'm saying? That make any sense? I used to like, Mom, why you do that? But my mom said, when I had you, son, I couldn't further my education. I had to take care of you. So your parents may not be the perfect people, but thank God that they're there. Your teachers that's helping you out. If you don't understand, talk to them. Don't be afraid. Because right now, really don't count. You know what counts? When you get about 35 years old, that's what counts. When you get 35 years old and trying to get a job, they look at your resume. They see that you was in school. And you may have gotten some bad grades, but they see you start improving. You follow what I'm saying? You're giving to the community. You're volunteering. You're doing these positive things because right now, trust me, you all are creating the resume. You're creating a resume right now. It's going to be a good resume, or it's going to be a resume that I did not obey my teachers. I did not obey my parents. I dropped out of school. Do you want those on your resume? That's a question. Do y'all want that on your resume? I'm telling you, man. Everything you want and everything that you need is right there at your fingertips. Read, study, do the opposite, because I never thought that I'll be somewhere where I can tell somebody about the story. You all can create a story right now. Have anybody been through hard times in their life? You're creating a story. By going through hard times, you all are creating stories. Do not put a period, put a comma, and you keep going. And it took me, on this right here, we wrote a book. The book is called The Bullet in Me. And it took 13 years to write this book. And we put everything in this book pertaining to my life because we don't know. But when you sacrifice your life for the people, that's when God blesses you. Okay? I'm not going to bore you long, and that's all I have to say. My name is Sherman Bryan. Thank you so much. She's too long.
Mr. Sherman Bryan, talking about appreciation.
Oh, thank you. Ooh, what? Thank you. So I can shoot now, right? Shoot.